Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Pretty Pink Posh's Stitch Stars die set, also using the Big Celebration Cupcake die set, but just the 2 small stars. For a sentiment, I have Sentiment Strips Fall stamp set, and I will be using some pattern paper. This is from Scrapbook Customs, and it's their 4th of July collection. I'll start off by adding a white splatter on some Kraft cardstock using Spellbinders Splatter White Watercolor. I'll put just a tiny bit on an acrylic block, spritz it with water, mix up that solution, then I'll gently tap my paintbrush over the Kraft cardstock piece. If you want a brighter white splatter, you could add a little more of the watercolor. I did add a little extra water to my mixture since I'm going for a very light white splatter. Now I will set that aside to dry and I'll start working on the stars. I selected 4 different pattern papers and I'll be using 5 different stars. One of the pattern papers I have cut in half. There's the light blue that fades into white, and then the fireworks. That's the same sheet of paper. I'll start with the larger 2 stars, and I'm using the star pattern paper in red and also blue. I'll hold the dies in place using some of Scrapbook.com's mint tape. And since I don't always show my die cutting, I thought I would in this video. I'm using my brand new Spellbinders Rose Quartz Platinum Scout machine. This is an exclusive color only available at Scrapbook.com. I have the bigger black Platinum 6 machine, and that's the machine I use most of the time. But the new Scout machine is so cute, and I love the pink color. It's also nice that it fits on my craft table. And the exclusive Rose Quartz color also comes with the pretty pink plates. I'll cut out all 5 stars. And it's hard to see, but the dies do add a fun stitch detail on each of the stars. Next, I'll cut out the red star. And I know it throws some people off, but I always cut up into the plate. But I know I'm not alone in that, so raise your hand if you do the same, or do you cut down into the plate? I just prefer to have the bottom plate stay flat, and that top plate where I do all the cutting will eventually start to warp slightly. I do try to remember to flip it once in a while, that way it stays fairly flat. For one of the smaller stars, I'm placing it on that darker blue color next to the fireworks. I don't want any of the fireworks inside the star. Then for the smallest star, using that same sheet, but it's toward the bottom and it's a little mix of light blue and it fades into white. I'm going about in the center of this piece since I do want to capture a little bit of that light blue. And I will need to take the piercing end of my Craft Pro Pick tool by Scrapbook.com to pop out that star. Now I'll put away the plates, fold up the ends of the platform, and set aside my die cut machine. My background with the white splatter is all dry, and off screen I also splattered up another 11. I figured if I'm making one, I may as well make a dozen cards. This is a very simple design, easy to mass produce. And the cards I'm making today will be Veterans Day cards for residents at a nearby retirement home, getting an early start on them. I've already gone ahead and cut out the rest of the stars, and I've stamped and cut out the sentiment, and I have everything organized in one of Scrapbook.com's stack and sort trays. The craft background piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'll layer it on the blue cardstock layer, which is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now it's time to add 5 of the stars onto the background. I'll start with the larger blue star, put glue on the back and adhere it in the upper left-hand corner. Next I'll add the large red star, putting that on the right side. In the upper right hand corner, I'm adding the white star with the tiny red, blue, and gray stars inside. Next, I'll add the light blue star, putting that underneath the blue and white star. And then the final tiny star, this is the light blue and white star. I will place a large acrylic block on top while the glue dries. The pattern paper does have a slight glossy feel to it, so I want to make sure everything adheres nice and flat. I've already stamped and cut out the sentiment, and I forgot to show it earlier, but I cut out that sentiment using Pretty Pink Posh's Sentiment Strips die set. I will be popping up this sentiment using some thin foam dimension. This is Scrapbook.com's thin foam strips in the 1mm thickness. After adhering the foam strip, I'll remove the release paper and adhere the sentiment in the lower left-hand corner, trying to make sure to get it nice and straight. After cutting out all of the stars, I had a bunch of narrow strips of the pattern paper, and I will add those on the inside of the card just for a little extra detail. For embellishments, I'm adding Pretty Pink Posh's Sparkling Clear Jewels. I'll pour a small amount in a little wooden bowl. Makes it easier to find the different sizes. Since the cards will be hand delivered and not mailed, I can use some of the larger jewels. I'm putting 2 in the upper right hand corner, the largest size jewel in the very center of that small blue star, and then 2 more jewels on the left side. I'll first add a drop of Barely Art glue using Scrapbook.com's Kraft Pro Pick tool, the wax tip end, to pick up the jewels, then I'll press them in place. So there is my finished card, and I made a total of 12. When it's closer to November, I will be stamping Happy Veterans Day on the inside, and I'll also add a handwritten message. And the cards will be Happy Mail for the veterans at a nearby retirement home. In my craft room, I have 3 drawers set aside just for retirement home cards. I give cards to all of the residents for the main holidays, and I also try to drop off cards for each season. So they'll get a happy summer card, happy fall card, just a little something to brighten their day, and it doesn't have to be for a holiday. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.